What's up? I'm James Young with JamesYoungPhotography.com, bringing you episode number 3 of Teach Me How to Lightroom. Today we're taking a look at this portrait that I took of a kind of a casual cosplay here with an added smoke grenade for some visual effects. Don't forget, in the description there's a download link for the raw file so you can follow along or make your own edit. If you do, make sure to tag me in social media so I can see it. All of my info is down there below as well. Well, let's get right into it. The first thing I want to do is crop this composition just a little bit to make sure that my lines are straight, and I also want to get my model right in the middle of the frame. So here we go. Now when you're doing a shoot like this, you're kind of spraying and praying because you don't really know what the smoke is going to do, and you're just taking lots of frames at a time. So sometimes the in-camera composition can be off just a little bit, but you can see I'm not cropping too much. I'm just making sure all my lines are straight. All right, good. I like that. So let's start off with adding the medium contrast curve. This is a preset from Lightroom, and it kind of just gets the party started. So with the exposure, we're going to add a lot of exposure right off the bat. We're actually going to go about plus 1.1. Now you're going to say, wow, that looks kind of blown out. But stick with me to the end. You're going to see it's worth it. With the contrast, we're going to go plus about 75 or so, 70, 75. Okay, I like where 75 is at. We're going to bring our highlights down quite a bit. I'm going to hold down Alt or Option, depending on your platform. Come down around minus 50, 60. Let's go minus 60. You can see there I'm only blown out on the windows there, and that's okay. I'm not too concerned about that area there at all. With the shadows, we're going to leave them. We're not touching the shadows today. With the whites, we're going to bring them up just a little bit. Just a touch. Maybe like plus 14 or so. I like that. Again, we're only blown out here, so even though it looks kind of bright, remember, just stick with me at the end. You're going to like where we're going with this. With the blacks, we're also going to just bring these down just a little bit, somewhere around minus 15. I like that. Now with the clarity, we're really cranking this thing up. Now you guys know that typically I say with portraiture, it's all about the skin. It's all about the skin, and that's true. But you'll notice here, the model here is basically essentially wearing a bodysuit. I mean, it's a latex top and bottom with a corset in the middle. There's almost no skin showing at all, so we're really going to crank this thing up. We're going to go like plus 80, 85. Let's do plus 88. That works there. And like we're really getting crunchy with the edit here. Then in vibrance, we're bringing this thing up too. Let's go about plus 50 or so. Okay, we're off to a great start. Let's look at before. Let's look at after. All right, we're looking good so far. And again, I know this looks bright, but just stick with me. We're getting where we're going. Don't worry. With the temperature, I'm noticing it's just a tad bit blue. So I'm going to add a little bit more yellow into the image. I'm going to go up to about 4900 on the color temperature. And I like that much more. Let's go back. Yeah, I like that a lot better. So let's scroll down because I want one more area of contrast to add. But the dehaze, which is where we're going, is all the way at the bottom for some reason. Hopefully in a later update of Lightroom, maybe Adobe will bring the dehaze up a little bit further up so we don't have to scroll down so far. But we're going to go somewhere around plus 25, 20, 25. Yeah, let's do 25. I like that. So here's our basic edit before and after. You can see we're going all out with the contrast. Now let's bring back some of the detail on the outer edges of the frame. And there's a few ways to do that, but today we're going to use the vignette tool. So we're going to start by doing minus around 20, 25 or so. Let's do minus 25 on the vignette. On the midpoint, again, I'm going to hold down Alt or Option depending on the platform, and I'm just going to bring this down. Let's actually just bring it down all the way to 0. And then on the roundness, again, while holding down the Alt or Option, we're going to come up to around 30-ish. Let's do 33. 33 looks good. And you can see what we did is we made the fall off much further and the roundness, appropriately named, much more round. And you can see here what that's done to our image. it looks outstanding. Watch what happened here. I'm going to turn this off. It's super bright on the edges, almost to the point where it looks blown out, but as soon as we turn that vignette back on, bam, all that information is back, and it's super duper punchy, super epic with the contrast, and I love that. One little thing that's sticking out to me in the frame here is this little distraction. I'm not sure what this is, probably just a small reflection of an ember or something. So I'm just going to take the spot removal tool, click right on it. Lightroom made a good choice there. I like that. I'm going to zoom back out. That distraction is gone. A couple last things I'm going to do with the image. I'm going to sharpen it up. Adobe starts us off with 25. I'm going to take that a little bit further to about 70. 75 is fine. Because of that, it's going to bring out just a tad bit more noise. So under the luminance slider, I'm going to crank this to about 30. And that looks good. And when the image is pretty small like this, it doesn't look like it's doing a big difference. So I'm going to zoom in all the way, turn it off, and turn it back on. You can see it did tighten up the image quite a bit. And it will definitely make a big difference in the print. So that's really the basic edit here. This is the point where we can make a preset if we decided to. Just press plus on your presets. One last thing you can really do to bring this thing out is click on the adjustment brush or click K, double click where it says effect to zero everything out, and bring up the clarity just a little bit and start painting over the smoke grenade area. But that's totally optional. I definitely like where this edit ended up. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you downloaded the raw file, make sure to post your version of it and tag me in it. Well, I'm James Young with JamesYoungPhotography.com, and this is Teach Me How to Lightroom, episode number 3.